bitch. Is that better? Is bitch better? Is bitch better? Is bitch better?
Hey, bitches. Welcome back to another episode of Bitches Better, Love Island USA edition. I'm your host, Raven, and oh my God, let's get into last night's hour and a half long episode, everybody. So, Sincere pulls Mel to apologize, and he's like, I know I've been a piece of shit and I've hurt your feelings, and you're the last person I would want to see hurt. I just want to eliminate any doubt. I want to be in this connection with you. And she's like, "No, you actually really hurt my feelings. Like, that felt like shit. You're not considering me at all." And he's like, "I don't want to end this. I never did." And she's like, "Okay, but you can't have your cake and eat it too." And then he's like, "Any day of the week, I'm picking you. I'm standing on the green dot." He didn't say that, but he wanted to. And so she gets up and she moves to the chair across from him because they originally were sitting across from each other and then he moved next to her. So now she's moved away from him again to show him that she's not playing. Okay. So she's like, "Why should I believe you? Like, dead ass." And he's like, "We agreed on exploring." Yes. And I did too much. Yes, I know I did. And she's like, "How many times did you kiss her in there?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know, once, twice. I'm not keeping count." And she's like, "Okay, but the point is, you're kissing all over the place. Do you see how that makes me feel?" And then he's like, "I'm not taking the kisses with substance, though. I'm just trying to see if there's chemistry." And she's like, "Well, there is chemistry. You've kissed her so many times." Exactly. You're kissing and cuddling for hours, but you were only doing that to see if there was chemistry, Sincere? And you had to do it multiple times to make sure. No, you got your answer. The chemistry is there and you love it. Don't piss me off. And then he's like, "Oh, that kissing shit is not going to happen anymore." I said, "Oh, that sounds familiar. It's almost like you said the exact same thing to Mel earlier in the day, and then immediately after that, you were making out with Soul again. So why should she believe this time is any different? Seriously." And then she's like, "Okay, so what's going to happen with y'all's connection? Because you clearly have a connection and I'm not stopping it." This man denies having a connection with Soul. Even though he's told Soul they have a connection. He's told the boys they have a connection. But now all of a sudden they don't have one. And he's like, "Okay, that might be a connection to you, but it's not to me." And he's like, "That's called exploring, not a connection. You are exploring your connection with her. What are you saying?" And she's like, "Okay, well, you've been exploring all day today. So what's going to happen? What's the plan?" And he's like, "She's not on my mind. You are." Liar. And she basically said the same thing. She's like, "Yeah, well, I've heard that from you before. So I will ask you again, what is the plan with Soul?" And he's like, "You are my priority." And she's like, "Yeah, but you have this like big thing with Soul going on." And he's like, "Well, I never said that you had this big thing with Corbin going on, and you told me that he was your type." Okay. What does that have to do with this or anything that she just said? Because her telling you that he's her type and having a chat with him is nowhere near being the same as what you've done with Soul. She didn't even kiss him. Shut up. So she's like, "I'm going to explore with him, but I'm not taking a step back from us." And he's like, "Okay, but I never wanted to end our connection. And I'm not just going to let you walk away." She didn't say she was walking away. She said she wanted to explore and not take a step back from you. But no, he wants to be the only one that explores and that has options. So he can make out all over this villa and it's fine, but she has a single chat and he's like, "Oh, hell no. I know you fucking lying." It's like he just wants her to sit by and do nothing while he plays around with Soul and just be sitting there waiting for him to finish. No, that's not fair. That's not how any of this works. So he apologizes again, and she's like, "Okay, I'm going to trust you one more time." Stupid, stupid girl. And then she's like, "I have to forgive him because he forgave me." And that is an issue. Someone please tell Mel those are not the rules of forgiveness. You don't owe it to anyone. Like, you don't have to do that, especially after seeing what he's done. Like, use your head. But no, she's like, "I really like him and I think this could work outside of here, so we're gonna try." What? I just wanna ask her and him, like, what has happened between the two of you that's led you to believe that this can work outside of the villa when it can't even It's not working in here, and this is your protected bubble. There's no outside influences, friends, family, a bunch of other girls, like nothing like that. So, why do you think that it would work in that environment when it's not working in this one? That's what I'd like an answer to, but whatever. So she's like, "Yeah, so we're gonna try, but you're not gonna keep kissing Soul, right?" And he's like, "No." Okay, we'll see. And then he's like, I really do want to see this through with Melanie. And again, he's just saying shit. And I don't know why. Well, well, yes, I do. Sincere is a liar, right? He has a lying problem and a problem with just telling people what they want to hear in the moment so that he can get out of trouble right then. He's not forward thinking. He doesn't think past right now. Like he's actively setting himself up for failure. And he knows it, but it's like he can't help himself. Like, why lie? Why lie? Because he loves the drama. He acts like he doesn't, but he does. He's drawn to it. And so is Mel, to be honest, but we're talking about him right now. So, because all he has to do is tell Mel the truth, which is, yeah, I want to continue getting to know Soul, and then he can carry on. And he'll still get drama out of that, right? Because Mel is Mel. But no, he has to make sure he gets maximum drama. So he's like, let me lie. What an idiot. And then he carries her away from the chat like he's carrying his bride over the threshold. And she's yelling about how she got her man back. And it would have been fine if, well, no, it would have still been annoying, but it wouldn't have been as bad if she was just like, I got my man back. I got my man back, everybody. But she was like, I got my man back. Aha. Because who is the aha directed towards? What was that for? It was just stupid and uncalled for. And by the way, while they're having this conversation, Jen and Soul are talking, and Jen is like, I'm just confused about what's going on because now they're like all on each other. Girl, same. And Soul is like, it's just fucking dumb. It's just fucking dumb, dumb, dumb. She just said it over and over. And yeah, agreed. Again, the situation is dumb, and Mel and Sincere are dumb. That's it. So Corbin chats with Anaya and he tells her that Kenzie is contradicting everything that she agreed to, like that morning. And Anaya's like, whatever, you just need to talk to each other. She's like, the communication in here is shit. Translation, she's tired of these fools coming to her with their problems instead of just talking to each other about it. And she's like, okay, I've done this for 2 weeks now and I'm exhausted. Get somebody else to do it because I've had enough. And he's like, no, my communication is good. She just don't want to listen. Um, okay, maybe. And he's like, I just want to see if there's a connection with Mel, but I want to keep building what I have with Kenzie. She had a chat with Caleb and she kissed him. And if she wants to do that with him, then I have to see what's up with Melanie because if Kenzie ends up with Caleb, where does that leave me? And it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense, right? So then Zach talks to Casey about Bryce pulling Kata for a chat, and Casey busts out laughing the same way Zach did when Bryce told him. He cannot believe it. He's like, what the fuck? Where is this coming from? Does he like Kata more than he likes Trinity? And Zach is like, yeah, I think so. And I think he would drop Trinity in a second for her. And you know what? I do too. Just 'cause, like, that's his type and everything, And he was willing to make everything awkward with his bestie and their little friend group over it. Especially especially after he was already rejected by Kata in front of his bestie, actually. It just it just makes no sense. And Casey literally says that Bryce is super logical, so this whole thing makes no sense. He's like, "Y'all are best friends, so this shouldn't even be a thing, like, it should be dead." Say that louder, Casey. There's some people on Bravo that need to hear it. So Zach and Casey end up leaving the dock where they're talking because they can see Bryce and Kata chatting and it's just too weird. And then Zach is like, I feel bad because Bryce is my friend and I want him to be happy, but selfishly, like, I don't want to lose Kata. Fair. Also, you're not going to lose Kata. She don't want him. So then Zach and Trinity talk about everything going on with Bryce pulling Kata. And Zach is like, I just think it's stupid because me and Kata are in a really good place and you're friends with her. So I don't see the point. And I just don't see it happening. And she's like, yeah, and I catch more feelings for him every day. And Zach is like, okay, so if your exact type comes in here, would you go for it? And she said, no. Trinity, please. That's stupid. That is very fucking stupid. And this is the problem in this villa. These people are like, I'm not really open to anyone coming in. Okay, so what the fuck are we doing here? You know what? Get rid of the OGs. Get rid of them. Okay, that's extreme. Maybe don't get rid of the OGs, but like, I don't know, they need to be put on punishment or something. You have got to talk to the people coming into this villa. This is ridiculous. Okay, I got off track. So yeah, she's like, "Well, I'd have a conversation, but I'm really happy with Bryce and like I really like what we have going on." What do you have going on? I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. So then Bryce pulls Kada and he's like, listen, you're the only other person in here that I feel like I have a connection with. And I feel like I need to have this conversation with you just to see if there's anything there. And she says she's still open because, it's still so early, but she really likes Zach. And, she friend zones him. Which, duh, no surprise there. We all knew how that was going to go, and I don't know how he didn't, right? So now he's been rejected by Kada twice. And I feel bad for her for having to do that again, especially now. Like, it would have been different if it was shortly after the first one, but now this time has gone by, and it's like, you're trying to do this shit with me again? No, there's nothing more annoying than having to reject a guy multiple times. Because why aren't you listening to what I'm saying? I don't want you. Beat it. So they end the conversation by dapping each other up like friends. And that's that. So then Zach pulls Kata to talk about the Bryce thing, and he's like, that was so stupid. And she was like, yeah, very fucking stupid. I made it clear that there's nothing there and I'm not into him. And he's like, oh, I know. It's going to be awkward now. Correct. Bryce, it's like, did you think about this? Because I don't think you did. And this is sounding familiar, isn't it? Anyway, Kenzie is going off in the dressing room about Corbin asking for multiple girls for kisses. And she says she's done and she's tired of being the second option. And she's like, it doesn't make me feel good. And I don't know why, but I don't feel bad for her. I'm sorry, but I don't. Like, how are you the second option? Kenzie, please, you know that you like Caleb the most. You just don't want Corbin's big hands on anyone else. But like, this is Love Island. You're both kissing and talking to other people. Knock it off. So she does all that crying and carrying on and saying she's done. But guess what? She's still all over him in bed that night. Shocker. And then in the bedroom, Sincere and Mel are all giggly and all over each other. And Anaya's like, I am so tired of y'all's toxic, bad communication, always arguing stank asses. And they're all laughing, but like, she's being serious. She's so sick of them. And I don't blame her one bit. And then Bryce apologizes to Trinity in bed and he's like, I want to talk about this in the morning. And she's like, yeah, because you got some splaining to do. She had a pillow wall built up and everything. And he was like, I'm gonna take this down. No, leave it. So the next morning, Bryce has got to start his apology tour. And Mel is saying that she and Sincere are not good, but they're going to try and make it work. And he's on his last strike. Nobody believes that, not even her. Sincere is like, I'm failing to balance both. Both? I thought you only wanted Mel and it was fuck soul. What's there to balance? I said, here he goes again. And then Corbin is like, I'm in the worst situation possible because Mel and Kenzie are friends. You're not in the worst situation possible. Look at Mel and Sincere and Soul. Okay. And then Gabe is saying that he has more sexual attraction with Jen. Okay. Don't care. And then this idiot, Sincere, makes breakfast for Mel and Soul. He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to balance both. You just told Mel that you don't want Soul. What are you doing? And then he tries to sneak the plate to Soul without Mel seeing, but she sees it. She sees all, okay? And her eyes said, I know you fucking lying. He's not. Well, actually, he is, but not in that moment. And Bryce tells Sincere that this was a bad idea. Okay. He's like, it's showing that you're prioritizing both of them equally. And he just told Mel last night that she is the main priority. And then Sincere is like, I'm happy with Mel, but I really want to explore Soul. And I'd be happy with either one of them, honestly. Like it's 50-50. So the opposite of what you told Mel. It's like Sincere is Drew Barrymore from that movie 50 First Dates. And he says all this stuff and he does all this stuff. And then he wakes up the next morning and his memory has been wiped clean. Like none of the shit that happened the day before happened. And he has to be reminded of everything. Like it's so ridiculous. And I really wish Mel and Soul would just talk. A conversation where they compare notes and what he's been telling them would help squash this. And you know what? If this was Love Island UK, they would have been done that by now. They've already had to do it so many times over there in this current season right now. And a few of those times, they've called the boy over and made him sit in the middle and answer for his crimes. Like, hello, girls, come on, talk to each other. So then Mel tells Kata that, she isn't feeling the best in her connection with Sincere, and she's trying to figure out why. I said, "You're trying to figure it out? Let me help. He's into Soul, and you don't like that. That's it." And then she's like, "I'm just not having fun anymore because of how messy it's gotten." I think you love that shit, but okay. And she's like, he just really hurt my feelings. And I know I hurt his feelings too. And Kata's like, let me stop you right there. What he's doing is way worse. And I agree. Not even because of like what he is doing, but it's the lying, the blatant lying. And Kata thinks that he's doing it just to get back at Mel. And I'm not sure about that. I don't know, I have to think about it. And Mel is like, "After all that chaos, it just feels calmer with Corbin." Um, yes, I can see why you might think that, but that doesn't make Corbin a good option, right? Just maybe the better one for now. For now, for now, for now. But don't forget, Corbin is out here asking everyone for kisses, and I don't think that you like that either. It's slim pickings in the villa right now. They need to keep the bombshells coming. I'll tell them when to stop. Just keep sending them in, you know? So then, seemingly out of nowhere, Kenzie pulls Soul and she's like, "How are you feeling about things with Sincere?" And Soul is like, "It's good. We have good chats, good chemistry, feels natural." And she says she appreciates his transparency and openness. LOL. Girl, you have no idea. You have no idea. And then she says, he's the only person that's open to getting to know her, which is sad because it's week 2, everybody. These people should be way more open than they are. I've never seen anything like it. So Kenzie is like, it has to be hard to come in here when everyone is acting closed off, and I want to be a friend to her, even though I'm close with Melanie. I just don't want anyone to feel left out. So now I'm feeling like the girls aren't really fucking with her, which is not nice. Yes, she's a bombshell, so she has to come break up somebody's couple. That's not her fault. It's literally the name of the game. Don't be mean to her because she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. Like, it could have easily been you, you know? It's not like she's being an asshole about it either. So, I wonder if the girls are icing Jen out as well, or are they okay with her because she's not she's not Melanie's nemesis, you know? Because like I said before, we aren't really seeing or hearing from her. Which is crazy because she is also a bombshell. But if these boys aren't talking to them, I mean, I guess there's nothing to show. I don't know. I'm getting annoyed. We need a shake up. Like, start sending in these people's exes or something. I'm done playing with them. Something needs to happen. Something's got to change. So, anyway, it was nice for Kenzie to let Soul know that she's there for her, even if it felt random as hell. Very nice. So, Bryce pulls Trinity and apologizes again. Trinity isn't feeling great about him talking to Kata. And then he's like, I don't feel that strongly for her. It's just, any tiny form of doubt. What? That doesn't make it better. But he's like, what if in 2 weeks some guy comes in and he talks to you and you're like, oh, this is my type. And now I didn't even try with Kata. I'd regret it. I said, okay, sure. So then Trinity's like, okay, I hear you. I hear that you're nervous that my type might come in, But how do you think I feel? It's nerve wracking for me as well because I always see shit where people talk to people that are a different race and then they end up going to the person that they're more comfortable with, meaning a person of the same race. And I said, good point. I've seen it many times too. A lot are on this show right here, not necessarily this season, but just Love Island as a whole. So she's like, "I don't wanna catch feelings for you," and then a fucking brunette model comes walking in, and you're telling me to get lost. Like, it's just not a good feeling. And I said, "Oh, okay. Maybe this is why I feel like she doesn't like him for real, and vice versa." Like, it's possible I'm projecting because I'm like, "Oh, I've seen this happen way too many times, and I know how this story goes." So it's like so she's like, "I'm not actually into him. I'm just gonna, like, pretend for now until I can get someone I feel comfortable with and I know is attracted to me and actually likes me. But in the meantime, this guy is actually pretty cool and I enjoy hanging out with him and maybe I could see if something's here, you know? But I need to be careful because of what I said before. His actual type might come walking in and he's gonna be like, "Okay, actually, I want her instead." I don't know. I'm rambling now trying to make sense of it, but I still don't think she likes him. But maybe she is, like, starting to, but she's scared because of what she just said. So she's like, "Oh, hell no, let me back up off of this," especially after he went and talked to Kata. She's like, "It's happening. It's happening. I knew it." And now I look stupid, and I hate that because I didn't even wanna like this guy in the first place. I don't know. So anyway, he's like, "All I can do is reassure you by choosing you." Correct. So she's feeling better after the chat and she's gonna let it go, but she has her eye on him. Okay. So then Kenzie and Corbin chat and she's like, "You hide your emotions." And he's like, "No, I don't." And she was like, "Mm-hmm." And he was like, "Okay, you got me. Your kiss with Caleb hurt me, and I should have said something, and I know that I need to share my feelings with my partner. And I know it was wrong to ask Mel for a kiss." And she was like, "Yeah, it just kind of felt tit for tat because you already kissed Mel, so you know that there's chemistry there." And I said, that wasn't a challenge though, so I don't think that counts. It wasn't tit for tat." So then he's like, I'm exploring. Okay. But I do care about you and I wanna keep growing our connection." And she's like, "Yeah, but I can't with the lying." And he's like, "Well, when did I lie to you?" She's like, "You didn't." And I said, "Correct. He didn't, but you didn't tell her that you were interested in Mel, so I can give her that. But she kissed Caleb, so honestly, she needs to hush." Like, he sees your exact type come in and you're vibing with him and you're kissing him, so yeah, he has to see what else is going on or else he's gonna end up getting dumped eventually. He can't just wait around for you and hope to be chosen, you know? So then Bryce pulled Zach and Bryce is feeling uncomfortable. Zach says it's a little awkward now. And then Bryce is like, "But I don't feel any type of way towards you." Why would you? He didn't do anything to you. You went after his girl out of nowhere. He's the one that should be feeling some type of way, you weirdo. So then he's like so then Zach is like, "I just feel bad for you that you got rejected." So embarrassing. And then they get a text that they're gonna play, Sweet as Pie, and Sierra and Teffy are hosting the game. And Kata is so cute. She's like, "Oh my god, I love Sierra. Do you watch Summer House? Do you watch Summer House?" I said, "Me." I love her, so I'm excited. So Sierra and Teffy come walking in looking good. And they're gonna get that tea, okay? So they're gonna ask the Islanders questions about their fellow Islanders, and they have to decide who best fits the answer, and they have to lock it in with a kiss. But if it's a naughty round, they have to lock it in with a pie. So the first question is, who's the most likely to remember your coffee order? Kenzie kisses Caleb, Casey kisses Anaya. Boring. Next question. Out of the villa, who's most likely to ghost you? Soul pies Corbin. And he's like, "Yeah, I do be ghosting people." No surprise there. And then Corbin pies Soul, and he actually slaps her with the pie. It was aggressive and uncalled for, if you ask me. And then he says, "Oh, we just feel like you're gonna ghost us." Us? What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Mel is the one that said she's ghosted people before, so really it should have been her, but okay. Anyway, Soul was like, "I have ghosted people," so fair. Now, the next question is, who's most likely to defend you when you're not in the room? Zeta, Zeta. Kada kisses Zach, and I said, "Does Zach be talking shit about Trinity?" But sure. And then Gabe kisses Bea. Okay. Next question. Who's most likely to throw you under the bus to save themselves? Anaya pies Bryce because of the Kada thing. And then Bryce pies Mel. Both are fair. I said, good answer. Good answer. Next question. Who is most likely to stop and help a stranger? Mel kisses Sincere. Yeah, he'll help them if he wants to fuck them. I would have chosen KC, but I'm not playing the game. And when Sincere and Mel kiss, Soul is like, I just feel like Sincere has been playing both sides and it doesn't feel like he's super open. Yes, you're right. Please keep that top of your mind. So then Caleb kisses Kenzie. Yeah, she's a nurse and she seems nice, honestly, even though she's annoying. So good answer. Next question. Who is most likely to sleep with their best friend's partner? While they're talking about it and like trying to come up with their answers, Sierra's like, and I check locations. I said, Sierra, please. A call back. We love it. So Trinity pies Corbin. Good answer. And Corbin pies Kenzie. Very gently, by the way. He didn't slap it like he did with Soul. And I said, interesting. Noted. But I don't know why he chose Kenzie. And he said, it's not the sleeping part, it's the talking. Well, that wasn't the question, was it? Stupid. So then he's like, but why me? Because you asked Kenzie's friend Mel to kiss you. Hello? He's a big dumb doofus, I swear. So the next question is, who is the most likely to string several people along at once? Jen Pie sincere, and she said, I know you're sincere, but you're not honest. I know that's right. I know we don't see much of her, but I liked what I've seen, which is really just this. But Sincere acts confused by this. He literally says, I've never strung anyone along or made any empty promises. I've been honest with them both. I could not believe my ears. You've never made any empty promises? Oh no, I'm not going to kiss her. No, I'm not kissing her again. I've been honest with them both. Crazy. Crazy. I said, oh, so he lies to everyone, including himself, and he believes them. That is scary. So Casey pies Kenzie because of the Caleb and Corbin situation. Fair. Next question. Who would be most likely to tell you if you had spinach in your teeth? Thea says nice things about Caleb and then she goes over and kisses him. And then Caleb says nice things about her and kisses her. I said, is something happening here? No, but I was just surprised by that. I didn't see it coming. Next question is, who is most likely to break girl code or guy code? Kada pies Gabe because he's freaked out and apparently they love to share in Brazil. Okay. Zach pies Soul and she shoves the pie away, by the way. She's pissed. She has had enough. She's like, I'm over this fucking villa. And she doesn't feel like she should be pied for talking to the only person that's open to getting to know her, which is Sincere. And I agree. It should have been Mel for not talking to Kenzie before she pulled Corbin, but that's just me. So the boys said that they chose her because she came in the villa saying she's not scared to step on toes. uh, she's a bombshell. What the fuck? And that's exactly what Sierra said. This is what bombshells do. She's not breaking girl code. She's literally just being a bombshell. She has no other choice. Stupid. No. Thea said the boys kept pieing Soul for a lot of the questions that they should have been picking Mel for. And I feel like there's a lot that we did not see. We only saw like two pies for Soul. And Bea was like, yeah, I'd stand 10 toes down on that. And I don't even have 10 toes. And I said, Bea, please. So Soul is crying and now the game is over. Now, after the game, Mel and Sincere are talking, and she's like, I look crazy. And he was like, we both look crazy. Yes, y'all do, but not because of the pies all over you. Okay. So then Mel is like, I'm going to go talk to Soul. And Sincere is like, about what? And she's like, it's just hard in here. And I've been rubbing it in her face. Yeah. Go apologize to her and then talk to her about what Sincere has been saying to the both of y'all. Ugh. And poor soul, she's still crying, and Casey is like, "I'd like to talk to you when you're not so upset." And she was like, "Okay." So that was nice because no one is going up to her really. I just like, which is also weird. And then Sincere's like, "Well, I was just about to talk to Soul." Okay, but you didn't. So now what? And then he's like, "I brought her breakfast this morning and everything was cool, but now she's all upset." And Gabe was like, "It's not just about the challenge, okay? It's about everything." Correct. I think this was just her last straw. Like, if no one is talking to her and then she has to deal with whatever Mel is doing, and then the pies, like, it's too much. So then Gabe is like, "Did you see Bea and Caleb? What the fuck was that about?" So he's mad that she hasn't communicated that she's interested in him, but I don't think that she is, or else she would have. Like, I just wouldn't make that much out of her speech about Gabe during the challenge because I think all of the girls came up with it, like, together, but whatever. So then he pulls her to talk about it, and she's like, "The girls picked Caleb," and he's like, "Okay, but I'm mad about the speech." And she's like, "What did I say in the speech that upset you?" She's like, "I was perfectly respectful." And she was, like, all she said about him was like, I don't know, he was respectful and like would help somebody out or something like that. I don't know. And she's like, "I don't understand what he's upset about." And neither do I, girl. Neither do I. Now, in the dressing room, Soul is like, it was fucked up for them to keep throwing all those pies in my face. And all of the girls agreed, even Mel. They were like, yes, it was fucked up. So, yeah, I feel like they didn't let us see a lot of the pies that she was getting, which is annoying. Y'all already made the episode an hour and a half, you know? Just leaving. Stop taking out important pieces. Don't piss me off. So the boys are talking while they're getting ready, and Sincere is like, "I have chemistry with Soul, and I just want to reassure her." Ugh, I'm so tired of it. I am so tired of this man. And Caleb's like, "Well, did her heightened reaction scare you at all?" Caleb, shut up. All she did was cry. Why would he be scared of that? Have you met Melanie? He's fine. He loves it here. Okay. So then Caleb and Corbin talk about Kenzie. It's whatever. Kenzie likes both of them. They're just like, may the best man win. Great. So then Mel and I and Trinity chat about Sincere and Soul. And Mel is like, "I hate a love triangle and I hate when a woman gets hurt. It's not Soul's fault." Girl, please. Like, you're only saying that because you feel chosen by Sincere at the moment. Because you were nasty to Kata after he pulled her for that one chat. Like, you are not fooling me. And now I just can't stop thinking about like what we're not seeing Mel do. You know what I mean? And what little comment she's making. I just I need all of the footage. I need it. I'll pay extra, but I need it for research purposes. So then Mel is like, "I really like Sincere," and then he fucks up and I keep liking him and I keep liking him. But I don't know what he's saying to Soul, but they're kissing a lot. And then he lays with me and he stays with me and it's annoying, but I have empathy for Soul and we're just like in this weird triangle right now. And I'm like, Mel, please start connecting some dots. He's telling you one thing and he's telling her another. Just go talk to Soul the same way Corbin and Caleb just did. Like, what is going on? If you have so much empathy, speak to the girl. Again, we haven't seen them speak to each other, and that is so insane to me. So, Sincere pulls Soul for a chat, and she gets upset again. She's crying, and she's like, "I just came in here, and everyone has been shitting on me. They haven't been trying to get to know me, and I just came in here like everyone else, trying to find someone." And I said, "Oh." Poor soul. I feel so bad for her. It's not nice. So, Sincere's like trying to make her feel better. He's like, "I'm here for you. If you want to talk, you're resilient, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, whatever. He's just saying shit. Like, I just don't believe a word he says. But for some reason, she feels safe with him and she thinks that their emotional connection is good. Soul, no, he's not a safe space. You have to listen to me. So then Zach pulls Jen for a chat and asks her who she's going for. And I said, "Good question." And she says Gabe, mostly just because she knows he's interested in her. How romantic. And that's literally it. Bea and Gabe chat again because she wants to see what's going on with him because he's still upset about Caleb and she still doesn't get it. I still don't get it. I don't care. So there's that. And then Ariana comes walking in this little choral number, by the way, so good. And she's like, get over to the fire pit right now, everybody. And she tells them that we, America, have been voting on who the bombshell should couple up with. And she says 3 couples will be broken up and 3 islanders will be single and vulnerable. And Mel is like, oh my God, we're fucked. Yes, yes, you are. But Sincere is like, no, we're not. But whatever happens, we're going to make this work. You are fucked and you will not make this work. So Caleb gets coupled up with Kenzie. No surprise there. I voted for that. Caleb is really happy and Kenzie is happy, but she's sad to see that Corbin is single and vulnerable because she has feelings for him too. And Ariana was like, okay, but you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is exploring multiple connections. I said, shots fired, right? Because why the fuck aren't y'all trying to get to know the bombshells? At least I feel like that's what she was like trying to say, but who knows? So then Jen gets coupled up with Gabe, and I didn't know how that was going to go, but I did vote for that as well. And now I feel like I shouldn't have because there's nothing there except sexual attraction, and she only likes him because he likes her. But I don't know. Who else was it going to be? Like I said, slim pickings in here. So then Soul gets coupled up with Sincere. No surprise there. I also voted for this. Mel is crying before they even announce it. Trinity is also crying. She's been crying since Bea went to stand up there, actually. So Soul is happy with this. Sincere says he feels the same. He says it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And Mel says she's happy to end the triangle. The triangle has not ended, but whatever. So then she's like, congrats to them. Congrats, Soul. America saw something that I didn't. What the fuck does that mean? Is that a dig at Soul? Like, yeah, so we saw the kisses and you didn't, but you knew they happened. And you said yourself, you know they have a connection, even though you don't believe Sincere when he says there isn't one because you know he's a liar, but okay. So then she's crying about how much she likes Sincere and everyone knows it, but this is what it is now. And she's tired of the triangle. She doesn't want to fight with Soul anymore or go back and forth and all that. I said, fight with Soul? I haven't even seen y'all have a conversation, much less fight. So what are you talking about? Is Mel just saying shit or are they not showing us things that they should be? Because if they're fighting, we need to see that. Don't piss me off. Ugh. I just feel like I shouldn't have voted for this either, but I made the best decision with the information that I had at the time. Like, they do like each other and have a connection. It's just too much drama. And I don't want that for Soul, but again, slim pickings. So now Corbin, Bea, and Melanie are single and vulnerable. And she's like, there's a single boy and a single girl. So y'all do the math. Corbin, go stand over there. I said, oh no, he's going to have to choose one of them. And everyone else is saying the same thing. So yeah, he has to choose one of the girls to couple up with to save them. And he chooses Melanie, which yes, right? They have a little something going on and they've been talking. So unfortunately, Bea is dumped, and I hate this. I really liked Bea. I feel like she was a real one. Everyone is crying. Everybody is crying. And on her way out, she was like, y'all just be good to each other. Be respectful. And I said, yeah, looking at you, Mel and Sincere. Whew. So the couples have been all shuffled around and Bea is gone. The villa has been turned upside down, truly. And I said, oh my God, that was a lot, but I loved every minute of it. Now, no new episode tonight, just After Sun with Sierra and Teffy. I'll be watching, of course, but I'm not covering it because that would be silly. So no new episode tomorrow, but do look out for Black After Sun tomorrow. I'll be doing that with Kaya over on YouTube. Everything will be linked in the show notes. And then I will be back to talk to y'all again on Monday about Sunday night's episode. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Love y'all. Bye.
Bitch. Is that better? Is bitch better? Is bitch better? Is bitch better?